Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Trig Podcast of Joey and Gosa TV on this beautiful Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this video. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell wherever you're watching me. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with the latest Trig news. I also have a podcast you can listen to. It's just the audio in iTunes or Google Play. Just type in my name and you'll see the podcast there. But talking today about what do you do if you have too many passions? Too many passions. A few years ago, I was playing at our children's school here in the area when they were small. And I was playing my guitar. And before that, I was the MC basically of this, I don't know, like a carnival I think they had at the end of the year. And this guy came up to me, and at first I didn't take it the right way. He came up to me kind of, I guess, somewhat impressed. I thought he was being mean and critical. And after seeing me do music, sing, host the event, do all these various things, various skills, I guess, he said, "Are you some sort of Renaissance man or something?" And he said it like that. Like, "Are you some sort of Renaissance man or something?" Kind of critical, definitely. But the more I think of it, it's been maybe 10 years since that moment, since that day. I am a Renaissance man, and maybe you are one too. What does a Renaissance man or woman mean? Well, it's someone who does a lot of everything, kind of a jack of all trades and master of none. Or maybe you are a master of a few things, but you're still a jack of all trades. You do it all, right? How do you deal with that? Because here's the rub. It seems like the people that make a lot of money, succeed, have a great impact, serve the world, whatever your goal may be, honor God, all these things that we all want to do. It seems like the people that accomplish a lot are those that focus. Plus, everyone tells you that you should focus. And sometimes I want to focus more. But here's some of the lessons that I've learned. First of all, I want to give you 4 tips. First, you have to accept who you are. You have to accept who you really are. So there are people that only do one thing, that do one thing really well. Well, we're not like that. We have very different gifts. We have a lot of talents. We have a lot of interests. We seem to pick things up fairly quickly. We move from thing to thing, and everything we do it at a high level. And instead of criticizing ourselves for not doing the same thing for 20 years or even 20 days or 20 months, maybe we need to realize that our gifting is more apostolic or entrepreneurial or intrapreneurial. Basically, we're creatives. We like to create things because we love people. We're empaths. If I go back to that day when I was doing my dog and pony show at our kids' school, I did that because I know that I could. I can be up on a stage and host an event and entertain people. And then I can go and play the guitar and sing for an hour. It's not a big deal. Of course, there are things that we can't do. And that's the second tip, is realize that there are things that we cannot do. It's so awesome that we are so skilled in a lot of things. But, you have to accept the fact that there are some things that we don't do well. I know that I'm not a great organizer. I don't do well with details. I know that I can be scatterbrained and think about a lot of things a lot of times, too many times. There are a ton of things that we don't do well. And the reason why that's important to recognize is because that's where you delegate. That's where you rely on other people. That's where you limit yourself, or you are honest with people and say, this is not something I do really well. The other day I was leaving. We were going to go, a few of us, to the room next door, to the building next door. And someone said, "Who has the keys to get back into the room?" And I said, "I have them." Immediately when I said that, I thought, man, people shouldn't rely on me for keys. But anyway, we went out, blah, blah, blah. We were trying to get back into the building. And guess who almost forgot his keys? Yep. And I did have them by chance. I mean, it was just a lucky moment that I actually had my keys with me so we can get back into the building. The point is, you have to know what you're not. Now, number 3 is do things one at a time. I think that that is important. Even though we may have a ton of talents and we can do 10 things at once, I still think that the greatest joy for us as humans is to do one thing at a time. Even if you move from thing to thing to thing, try to avoid doing 10 things at once, because you're not going to be able to enjoy it as much because you're trying to keep up with too many things. Maybe 2 or 3 things at the most, but try to avoid doing 10 things at once. So for example, for me, I enjoy preaching, and so I take time to study and prepare every Sunday. I enjoy music, obviously. I enjoy doing these shows. And so you see me doing these things. I also enjoy beat making. Now that's 4 things. I also enjoy so you have to be careful that you don't just go with things that you enjoy, but that you take time to do things well. So if you enjoy teaching, for example, then make sure that you are the best teacher out there by preparing, by putting in the work, by doing all the necessary preparation that you have to do. If you are into online content, then the same goes. Make sure that you have your gear and your script and your points and your thoughts well thought through, or at least organized in your head so that you can deliver your content. My point is, do things well. Even if you're doing 2 or 3 things, do things well. You will be happy, and the people, of course, around you will be the happiest. And the number 4, and maybe this is the hardest one, is to focus on what you're really good at, not just on what you're sort of good at. Focus on what you're really a genius in, not just on what you're sort of good at. A few months ago, I read this book called The Big Leap. And The Big Leap talks about levels of excellence for all of us. And it was really awesome because it says that, let's say, I think there are actually 5 levels, but just to summarize them, that every one of us has at least 3 levels. Average level of average or competence, I think is what he calls it, level of excellence, and level of genius. And obviously, we all want to live and work out of our level of genius, not out of our level of competence, or even just of, competence, excellence, and genius. So it's important to admit to yourself that even though you are competent at, let's say, at bookkeeping, that really your level of genius is to be a speaker or to go and talk to, and maybe do trainings all over the world. It's important to know your gift, your gifting. Even those of us who have so many gifts, there's no doubt that there are things that we enjoy the most, that we seem to have the greatest impact in. I am a good speaker, but I know for a fact that my greatest impact is when I grab a guitar and I sing. When I think maybe the second greatest impact that I can have is when I'm spending time with people one-on-one, or maybe in small groups, speaking into their lives, processing life together. And yeah, I love to preach, I love to teach, but I would say that's a 3rd or a 4th thing, maybe a level of excellence, level of competence. I can also be, and I can beat myself up over that, or I can simply know that it's in there, but there are things that I am a genius in. What are you a genius in? What are you competent at? And what are you maybe incompetent at? All those things are important to prioritize, so that when you're in a school, when you're in a business, when you are in a team environment or at a church, you can begin to discern, okay, yeah, maybe I do like to cook and I do like to counsel people, but my level of genius, or my level of the greatest joy, or greatest gozo, as we call it here. Got my gozo cups back there, by the way. Go to davidtrig.com/shop to get yours today for Christmas. Your level of genius might be in serving other people. And so you have to kind of just be honest with yourself. And now, what happens when you are getting paid to do something that is not on your level of genius or your level of competence? In fact, maybe you hate what you do. I would put that in a different category. Sometimes our work is not necessarily tied to our levels of genius and all that stuff. Sometimes they are. I would say most of the time they are a path to discover what our levels are. But don't worry too much, especially really if you're younger. I would say if you're under 50, maybe under 40, don't worry too much about having your job be your level of genius. By age 50, I'm 50 now, I'm almost 51 in April. I think just from all the studies that I've made that it's around midlife, 40s, 50s, that you converge into your level of genius. So as I said, for me, I'm spending a lot of time doing music. I'm also teaching voice. I have all kinds of ideas with regards to music and also coaching. Like I'm doing here. I love coaching people, talking to people one-on-one or through these videos. And then, of course, my speaking and leadership. Of course, I love that as well as kind of a secondary or trietary, I think that's the word, level. So it's important to know what you're best at so that you can focus on that and make money out of it. But don't be so, as I said, don't be so hard on yourself if at this stage of your life, in your 20s, 30s, your 40s even, you're not yet functioning in terms of your job out of your level of genius. See your job as a pathway to build your character, to help you be patient, to play well with other people, to submit to your boss, to work in teams, all these important things that will make you more effective once you get to your level of genius. So I think that these tips are I hope that these tips are very helpful. I think that these things are very important to keep in mind so that those of us who are doing a million things can focus. Now, here's maybe where the rub comes. I get discouraged when I'm not succeeding or I am not famous, let's say, or meaning successful in anything. So I was watching a video of this guy earlier today that has a studio that is just amazing. He probably has $1 million worth of gear in this. It's like a house, really. And he used to go on tour and I think DJ or something like that. But now he mostly scores music for films like Braveheart and Terminator and Blade Runner. And I felt so envious. I felt so jealous. I felt so like, why can't I be famous like him and score music for films? And then I will see perhaps a famous preacher who has a church of 30,000 and who is well-dressed and well-respected and who speaks with such eloquence and the word of God and just all that he says or she says comes out just so naturally. And the church is just 30,000 people and selling books. And I think, why am I not famous like him? And I get envious. I get jealous. I get sad, I get mad, all these things. Or maybe I'll look at a famous musician or a singer like, what's his name, Alejandro Sanz in Spanish, or David Matthews, or John Mayer, or Sting, or all these amazing superstars. And I think, why am I not like them? Why am I not as famous or making as huge of an impact like they are? And I began to then say, well, if I'm so amazing, then why not me? And then I began to think, well, I guess I'm not that amazing. Certainly by age 50, right? It would have happened by now, especially these days. What do I do with that? What do we do with those feelings if you face similar stuff? You know, that's a tough one. I think you have to really, it's a combination, I think, for me at least, of pushing, still believing. Like, I love my wife because she always tells me that I can do it and I can be the man that I want to be. There's also this balance of, what if I don't make it? I mean, as I said, as we get older, right? What if I don't reach that level? I may never have a church of 30,000. You know, I probably won't. Just like I probably won't play in the NBA. Actually, I will never play in the NBA. What if I don't make it? Will I still be happy? I think I will be somewhat happy, but I will be sad as well. And yet, that's maybe the inner work that I know I can't stand, but that is sometimes necessary. And so there's this combination of pushing towards your goals and yet also of contentment, like the Bible says, which is one of the words I just can't stand in life or in anything. contentment. But there's something about that where you accept who you are, where you are okay with who you are, with your limited amount of influence, and begin to really see the joy, the beauty, the perfection of impacting a few friends. And that is maybe where I have landed my plane. At my current church, I have a few friends that I truly love, and they truly love me. Maybe 4 or 5 people. I mean, everyone, of course, is very supportive, but you have those few people that you really connect with. The other day, I was praying with my staff, and we held hands, the 3 of us, in my office, and I felt so different. I felt so connected. I thought, this is beautiful. Like, these are my friends, not just employees or staff at a church. Like these are my friends. And that means a lot to me. I don't have a staff of 20 because I don't have a church of 10,000. I have a small church with just 3 of us on staff. But it means the world to me to have those relationships. We also had a meeting on Sunday, and this guy, our trainer, was talking, and he's used to bigger churches, and we're a small church. But as he was talking about prayer and the Holy Spirit and helping other people, I looked around the room and I thought, these are my friends. Like, the people in this room love me. They love this church. They're committed to what we're doing. They want to help other people. And that filled me with such joy. And then I come home and I'm in the car with my beautiful wife, who loves me, who supports me. Then we have these 3 amazing young adults who are a joy to us. I mean, does that replace the ambition and the jealousy and the envy and the passion, the drive, whatever you want to call it, to be famous or succeed? Or maybe for you is to travel or to have money. Perhaps it is to have influence or to be holy, whatever your thing is. Does it replace it? No, but it does seem to round it off. It seems to give me more peace, more inner peace, less turmoil. I don't think it's meant to replace it, but I think it does somewhat shape it, and perhaps even giving me a taste for what I really need. Maybe I don't need a church of 30,000 where I'm just a figurehead. Maybe what I really long for is friendship, and to hold hands with my staff, and to be in a room with 10, 12 leaders who really care. Maybe that is more what my heart longs for. And maybe that's what also is true of you. Perhaps what you want in your head isn't really what you want. Let me say that again. Perhaps what you want in your head isn't really what you want. It could be, could it be that what you already have, if you just push through it, etc., if you just maybe keep going at it, if you keep working at it, could it be that what you already have is the destination? Could it be that the fact that I'm here online and I have no viewers and all these things that I do, they get 1 view, 2 views. It's discouraging, but I just keep doing it. Could it be that just being here is the point, is my destination? Could it be that just playing my guitar and playing with my son and having our daughter sing or do the announcements and my beautiful wife sitting right there and doing what she does, could it be that that is what my soul really longs for? Could it be that what you already have is what truly fills your soul? If you change your wiring, if you disconnect from these longings and these ideas of what excellence or impact or changing the world looks like, and could it be that what you already have, with its struggles, with its pain, with its difficulties, is what you really need and what you're truly looking for? Could it be? That's the journey that I'm on. And I think that comes with age, and it comes with perspective. It comes with failure. It comes with realizing a lot of things. But I think it's a gift most of all. And like, Joseph Campbell talks about, or like Jesus talks about, it's this hero's journey that we're on. So I hope that these tips help you. I hope that these thoughts will help you along your journey as a creative, as an empath, as a young person, any age. Truly, people like us who want to make an impact in I'm hoping that I'm helping you navigate some of these obstacles that we face. My prayer for you today is that you will know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That no matter how stressed you feel or how overwhelmed or how discouraged you may feel, because you're not having the impact that you want to have, that God is with you, that he loves you just as you are, not as you should be, and that he's with you no matter what. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell on YouTube or wherever you're watching me on Facebook. Leave me a comment. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.